The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Well, you found it, folks. The golden nugget on 570 WSYR. It's called The Local Show, or otherwise known as the Steve Roberts Variety Hour.
I knew you were going to go there. You can't help yourself.
It's the Steve Show, and he even has his own text now, where you can text him personally.
Okay, yeah. Tom, you're so annoying.
It's the Steve Roberts adulation line.
Okay, the Steve Roberts adulation line
is
text line 216-0273.
Yes.
You say, how come you guys haven't talked to so-and-so? Or can you get them back? Or if you ask a question, who they were, what they are, you can text us, 216-0273. And Tom, just to be real, anytime anybody talks about the show, they're like, yeah, I hear you. Now, who's that guy with the really good voice? Right. They're never talking about me. They're always talking about you.
That's wrong. So they'll probably text you and say, hey, where are you going live? Like, are you going to eat somewhere so I can come in and get your autograph and all that?
Oh, yeah, that's it.
That's what they're going to do. Hey, we have a new guest to the show. We'll see if we don't scare him away quickly. It's Scott McClurg, founder and co-owner of McClurg Remodeling. How are you there, Scott?
Good morning, good afternoon, and I really appreciate you guys inviting me here.
Oh, well, it's, not often that we have real high-quality people like you on.
Well, thanks for the attaboy. Thank you very, very much.
And I got to be honest, that is what I think about when I think about McClurg, is the high quality of work that you do. If you want somebody to come in and remodel your home and you want it perfect, you call you guys. And that's been a reputation for a long time. How long have you been doing it?
46 years. 46 years, wow. Tom. And you can tell by looking at me, I guess you could say.
Well, you look better than Steve.
Bar's not high.
2 times nothing is still nothing.
So has it always been that way? Have you always been a cut above the rest?
No, we've always tried to, and I really do mean that. We always have tried to be the best that we can be. And, our motto is we're always working at being the best that we can be. Mm-hmm. And I truly mean that. And everybody that I've got working with us, not for me, with me, believes that. And it's empathetic people doing passionate things. And it shows. It really does show.
Did you start off as a builder? Like, were you building homes, or how did you start in the business?
No, it's kind of a long story, Tom. But I'll get into it a little bit. But in high school, I remember I was in the shop class, the wood shop class, and the metal shop class, and I remember both teachers, 2 different teachers, asking when they had the parent teacher conferences, they wanted somebody to operate the tools when I was there. I had no idea that I was heading in that direction, but I was the student that both teachers asked me to be there. And, it was just, never had any idea I'd head into that field.
Right.
The bottom edge is my parents in high school said, really need to go to college, you really need to get a degree, you really need to do this and do that. And I said, okay, I'll do that. And went to Lycoming College with going for liberal arts, which, God only knows what I could do with that.
You kept me busy for 4 years in school.
No. I went for 3 years. And, and during the summer, they said, how about working construction, in hopes that would get me to enjoy school. Yeah. It backfired. I loved construction and decided to withdraw out of school. Mm-hmm. So after 3 years, I was a psychology major instead of liberal arts, which did help me in business. I dropped out. And am I proud of dropping out? Absolutely not. Should I have stayed? Absolutely so. But the bottom edge is I think I've done okay.
Did that make your parents happy?
My parents were proud as peacocks. I mean that not when I did that,
right?
But at the end, near their end, they said, God bless you for doing what you wanted to do. So it was a good thing.
Are you from Syracuse originally?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
What side of town did you grow up?
West End, West Hill. Okay. West Hill used to be wasn't a good school when I was there. Became a good school once I left.
Good job.
So when we hear remodeling, rebuilding, what's the scope of what you actually do these days?
Mostly remodeling, and I've got to say remodeling is different than the new home construction. And please, not downplaying the new home construction. I'm past president of the New York State Home Builders, or Syracuse Home Builders and Remodelers, and it's a different carpenter. It's a carpenter that will put the kids on the bus. It's a carpenter that cleans up after himself. It's a carpenter that doesn't, you're living with the client. You truly are living with a client. We do anywhere from 450 to 600 jobs a year, and most of them remodels where we're living with the client. So it's a finely tuned individual. That's all there is to it.
That's a lot. How many employees to accomplish that? That's a lot of projects.
We've got over 50 employees now.
Okay, and this is a year-round thing. This isn't like
we don't lay people off for lack of work. Good people want to work year-round, and we do all we can to.
And how do you find? So my dad was a skilled carpenter. Okay, and he was a skilled carpenter. I can tell you stories, and things that were done improperly made him out of his mind. It made him nuts because there was a right way to do it, and then there was everyone else.
That's why I've got the white hair.
Is that what it is?
Oh, yeah, exactly.
So I don't have any hair, but that's right. So how do you acquire? How do you collect or attract those kind of skilled craftsmen?
It's a constant proud to be on the lookout for good people. And I mean that. We always are advertising for good people, because one of the concerns that I have of the industry is for every 5 people that are in the industry today, there'll only be 2 to 3 to replace them. So we're in duress. We are in sincere duress about the future of this industry. So I'm working very tightly with Maggie Hartnett from our company and with Marcella Schools, and trying to make sure that we're hitting those people like myself that can turn to this way, and it's a good way to make a living.
I had a good friend of mine, a fellow was in my wedding, a very good friend that went to BOCES for construction. He figured it out and did it, was excellent at it. He's been doing that for 40 years, and he has a certain standard, and he learned the basics of the trade in high school, and then grew and works for some other folks and has been independent for a long, long time.
I was really fortunate. When I was working construction during the summers and so on, I had 2 just phenomenal carpenter teachers. And as they said, they didn't know as to whether or not to take me on and to teach. But once they saw my work ethic, it was just, they said, you're like a sponge. We love having you here. In fact, the one carpenter, when he did stairs, he would do it behind closed locked doors because he didn't want to teach other people to do it, because he was afraid that they were going to steal his talents.
Of course.
And once he got to know me, it took about a month. He said, "Scott, come on back in, but lock the door behind you."
Someone's thinking about renovating their home. What would you suggest? What should they look at first?
Well, number one, and please, we're not the only good company in Central New York. There's a lot of good companies, but I mean this. It's really, really important. As my grammar school teachers used to say to me, Scott, do your homework. Client, do your homework. This industry is wrought with failure. Of the first 3 years of being business in this industry, 90% will fail. So therefore, anybody that's in business for 3 years, use extreme caution.
Sure.
Of the people that make it, 60% in the next 3 years will fail. It's the highest rate of business failure in any industry.
So go with someone that has a reputation and a resume. Is that what I hear you saying?
Yes, reputation, resume, and do your homework. Ask for other clients they've worked for. Ask to go see other jobs, and make sure it's not related to them.
It sounds like you have pretty high standards. If someone was thinking about doing something, or maybe wanted a conversation, they could reach out at McClurgteam.com.
Yes, please.
See the projects and see what you do.
Yes,
they
please.
could also call and chat with someone if they wanted to.
Yes, please.
673-2051. That's area code 315, Tom. 673-2051. Thank you very much, Scott.
Thank you very, very much.
You got it. That's going to wrap things up for us, Steve. And you can go home, do whatever you can do. Stay away from the power tools, if you don't mind. All right. The Local Show and Zoey Advertising and Tom and Steve all say God bless you and your families. Make sure you have some time to relax and exercise today and every day. Do it with a friend or family member. It'll keep your mind and body healthy. The Local Show is heard every Saturday morning from 11 to 1, and then again on Sunday morning from 7 to 9. Listen together with a friend. Until next week, get down to business and keep doing business locally. Tell your friends about the local show right here on 570 WSYR, 106.9 FM, the iHeartRadio app, and on YouTube at Zoey Advertising.